students are going to come back and work?
Those are the questions we have to deal with. But I think education, to a large extent, should be funded by public funds because it is for public goods. We should not see education as private benefit. Education, when you have good doctors in your community, it actually helps the community as a whole.
But what Anne is saying is that the majority of these people that we send abroad don't come back.
That we have to ensure.
I mean, statistics have shown that
either they don't come back or because they are married women with children, they come back and they just become housewives.
So those are the questions we have to deal with. Those are the questions we have to deal with, which shouldn't allow to be happen. But the point is that I think we have to relook at where we are sending about 10,000 students a year on scholarship to do first degree, when we should have used that fund to improve on our local university, to ensure that they actually are of equal worth with foreign universities, so that we actually, so it comes back to the point, when you reallocate resources, when you reallocate funds, when you have a different framework, it's no longer a zero-sum game.
So are we saying the current administration or the Ministry of Education is not very wise in their decision and policy making?
I mean, at the moment, because everyone is trying to work within the framework of 1960s. Okay? The debate is very much 1960s, 1970s. The debate has not changed.
So we're leading the country
year in, year out. We are using the same debate.
So we're leading the country with 1960
Scary.
policies. That's kind of behind.
I mean, year in, year out, the debate is the same. But let's say we open up the discourse. Let's say we have equal. Let's say we really build on vocational training. Let's say we no longer send students to do what they call the undergraduate overseas. Okay? Then you have a lot more money.
But do you think that is the master plan of the policymakers to ensure that they will always be in control of the government and country?
Well, I think sometimes they are.
It all boils down to control.
Yes, maybe sometimes it boils down to control. Sometimes it just boils down to people are day in, day out. They are just trying to do some. They think that they don't think beyond the current frame because no one. Maybe they
don't think or they don't want to, because if you allow people to think beyond the current frame,
in
you
their
lose
comfort
control.
zone.
And that's why in 1960 you are in control and you're still in power today because you're implementing the old same policies.
Yeah, in a way you are right, but on another hand, you look at the election result, you look at 51% of the population voting for the opposition, despite the government having control. Yeah, popular votes. Despite the government having control over the media, having dispersed so much money, having done all this, and
but can you imagine
without a sleeping prime minister?
And can you imagine if they didn't do all that? You know, even a simple majority would not be beyond reach. Okay, let's move on just a bit. We've got about 5 minutes. I've given a heads up here. Utusan's controversial CEC report, which actually states and also claims that some 700, over 735 to be exact, mostly Indians who were not alerted.
Okay, out of the 2,500
of the Congress, of the DAP Congress. Go ahead.
The DAP Congress on 15th of December last year had about 2,500 delegates. Out of the 2,500 delegates, 1,800 over came to vote. So the 735 are those people who did not come to vote, which constitute 29%. So 71% turnout and came to the meeting in Penang. Came to the Congress in Penang, and 29% didn't come. So out of this 735, there are only 100 Indians. Only 100 Indians, which means Utusan's report was wrong. But the point is, in any organization, if you have 70% turnout at your AGM, it is about there. If you say, okay, we are short of 80% turnout, but the point is that they are not. They didn't come not because they were not alerted. They didn't come because they couldn't make it. So it was not and Utusan is trying to play all this.
And the phantom delegates, 547 of them.
Totally, what they call the concocted lie and fictionless.
Okay, vote manipulation allegedly to place cronies of both Lim Kit Siang and also his son Lim Guan Eng, you know, on the powerful CEC. That's the claim made as well.
Yeah, that's the claim made. But what actually happened was there was a mistake because of an Excel formula, and we have explained it. We have shown why we had that mistake. We have apologized. We actually own up to our mistake. Of course, by owning up to our mistake, we land ourselves into the entire difficult
registration,
the possibility of having to contest under another party's ticket. Of course, this were not anticipated at that point of time. But my point is that there was no such thing. There was no such thing. It was very clear. But of course, we are going to do, this time we are going to have an auditor on the spot and also to audit the process from the start in order to ensure that this
will you be offering yourself again to be contesting for a CEC position or
okay,
even higher?
all positions are, this is not, this is basically a reballoting. This is basically, there was no questions about candidate list. So the same candidate list will be used and there's no new nomination. Okay. So there's no new nomination because the nomination process has never been questioned. The same list will be used. The same list of delegates, including those who have been sacked after that, would be allowed to vote, and it's essentially a reballoting.
By having fresh elections in the first place, is DAP owning up to its so-called mistake?
We are doing this under protest. We are doing this under protest. We do not want the party to be deregistered, and we assess that in the current political scenario, the chances of the UMNO elite thinking of deregistering DAP is quite high, and we are not prepared to face that, because if the party is deregistered, then it makes it really hard for the party to consolidate.
When is it going to be held?
We don't call it a fresh election, as I say. Essentially, it's a re-election or reballoting.
Of course.
It will happen on 29th of September in the Klang Valley. We have just decided yesterday. We're still deciding on the venue, but it will be in the Klang Valley.
And you alert all your delegates.
Yeah.
I have two last final questions.
Sure.
One is, what's your personal political aspiration? Is it to be the Secretary General of DAP? Yes?
No.
No. Second question, is Lim Guan Eng a possible better candidate to become the next Prime Minister, since he has run Penang in a very fantastic governed manner?
Okay, I think I joined the party when Kee Siang lost, when Kappa lost in 1999. I joined the party at a time that we don't see any prospect of moving away from being the permanent opposition. But of course, today we are in a position that is stronger. We are stronger than many other parties. But I guess we are in politics because we believe in something. We believe in a just Malaysia. We believe in a Malaysia that actually helps everyone, including the poor Malay, the poor Indian, and the poor Chinese. We recognize that there are people who needs government help, and government actually should actually help everyone without
looking at race.
Sure.
Looking at race,
that's exactly what Lim Guan Eng has always been talking about, and it's always helped the Indians and Malay Chinese equally. So would he be a right candidate choice?
I think you
haven't answered the question.
There are political realities. I mean, we don't. If you ask Kee Siang will say that he don't see that.
Yes or no, YB?
Huh?
Do you think that Lim Guan Eng is the right candidate?
I think the country is not prepared now. But moving forward, if we have a new frame of discussion, we really...
Why not prepared?
I think the country is still, especially post 2013 election, it has been so racialized. I think we want to support Anwar Ibrahim as the alternative Prime Minister candidate, and we think that with Anwar as Prime Minister, he at least can actually help consolidate the opposition.
Is his time not running out?
Not at the moment. Not at the moment.
Would Lim Guan Eng, in your opinion, be a better choice as the current Prime Minister for the future of Malaysia?
I think with the current political discourse, it's difficult. I mean, with the current political discourse...
Ernie's question was future.
I mean, at the moment you have to deal with the political situation. You have to deal with
after dealing with all this, what do you think of Guan Eng in future?
I mean, anything can happen in the future. Anything can happen in the future. But I think at this moment you have to deal with the political reality, and whether a person is suitable or not depends on political reality. You have to win election. You have to convince everyone, and I think from the start,
Barack Obama did that, right?
Yeah. I mean, that was 40, 50 years after the King's speech, what's called Martin Luther King's speech.
So we're nowhere close to that.
I think at this moment, the more important thing is actually not to talk about. I mean, the more important thing is actually to consolidate an opposition which has a different discourse. The whole discourse is that we do not believe in racism. We want to say that there are two major things that we want to do in our government: democratization and giving economic opportunities to everyone.
Which sounds very contradictory to me then, because that's exactly what the opposition is trying to promote. But then at the same time, when we decide on the Prime Minister, it still has to be a Malay candidate. Is that what we're saying?
That is exactly true.
That is, at the moment, you have to deal with the political reality. But moving beyond, the question is whether we can have a new framework. If we can, because there are more urgent issues. For example, we want to democratize the parliamentary processes. We want to democratize, or we want to ensure that the judiciary has integrity. Those are the issues that we have to do in order to save this country. And only until you can actually put forward a new framework. Otherwise, BN and its media, or UMNO and its media, will keep on harping on race, religion, and royalty. They use that to consolidate their base. Whereas we have to put forward our agenda, which is democratization and economic opportunities. But those things need time to consolidate.
I totally agree and understand, but in my perspective and a lot of people's perspective is the opposition is actually playing the same game. And ultimately, because if we're talking about making sure that we don't make it more racial, we have to be upfront and honest with saying that it really doesn't matter who is the Prime Minister, what color, what race, base, as long as he's doing what's right for Malaysians.
It's just using different terms.
Of course, in the long run, that would be the most important thing to do. That is to move away from the race debate. But you have to build the building block. And I think the country needs at least 1 or 2 terms of a new government in order to build that building block.
And DAP should have more of other races in your party apart from just majority Chinese.
I want to see that one day DAP can be led by a Malay.
We're still playing politics then.
On that note, we need to wrap the show. Thank you so much for joining us, Chin Tong and Ernie, for those great questions as always. And to all of you, thanks for your kind attention. This has been Face Off with YB Liew Chin Tong. I'm Ann Edwards. Thank you so much for your time. Bye-bye.